right now concentrate on where the pipe should be. And I will take a plane and make a copy. And I hold down Control button and drag a plane. And that is a shortcut to make a duplication that is parallel. So I'm happy with that. I say OK. And the reason is that I would like to make a little sketch on this one. And I go for sketch tab, and then I could click on the sketch button. And look at the corner now. We jump into sketch. So we're actually working on this sketch flat here. And this time it didn't go flat automatically, so I go for the space bar and say go flat. And an elliptical shape would be nice. So here we have several possibilities. I go for the default there. I hover above the 0 point just to get this dashed line. So somewhere around there, maybe there, and something like that, and escape. And now I could continue here to reshape this a little bit. Maybe move it a little bit further up. Not that big. A little bit bigger, please. Okay, something like that, maybe. Okay, let's go for that. So remember, we are on a flat sketch there. Oh, it's almost going out there. So I would like to be sure that it's inside the tea kettle. So let's move this up a little bit. Okay. Just let's go flat again here, so we secure that I didn't do some kind of mistake there. Let's put in a center line here to see what's going on. Yeah, look at that. I did a little mistake there, so let's force that one and the center line to be coincident. You could also choose the two points here and told them to be vertical. That had also worked nice. Okay, we're done with the sketch, so we would like to do a loft. So here we have one sketch plane for the loft, and then we will make another plane with the second sketch, and we will make a loft between these. So we're done with the first sketch, so we go out from the sketch in the corner. And we see sketch number 2 there, and we could also rename these, but it's such a simple model, so in this case I think we're okay. And I will take this plane here and control drag this, so I get a new one somewhere around this area here, maybe. And we could also change the distance here, so if I think it goes a little bit too far out, I could bring it down here. So 80 millimeter, and we have a new plane. Let's make a sketch on this one as well. So I click sketch. Look at the corner, we're inside the sketch. Let's go flat. And I would like to make an elliptical shape again. So I go for ellipse, but I go a lot higher. Oh, that looks a little bit peculiar. Didn't match up exactly. Okay, so, and a little bit smaller this time here. Something like that. So now I have 2 sketches. So let's see if we could do a loft. And the loft command is under features. And we go for loft boss base. So this is a solid loft. So there is a difference here between solid and surface loft. And you can see it on the icon. Compared to surface loft. Okay, tiny little difference there, but actually the surface loft is a lot more flexible. But right now we're working with solids, so let's go for solid loft. And when we do that, it asks for a sketch, and it realized that we had already selected one, so it took that in, and we could add another sketch here. So I click on sketch number 2. and it instantly makes a preview. And you can see that it does something funny here, but it's just to grab the green dots here and try to have them lining up. So if you do that, it will be a much better geometry. Okay, so if I accept this now, we got something that is not really similar to this. So it would be nice to have like this shape here. So let's add a shape here, a guideline. So to add a guideline here, we need to connect the sketch inside here to the other sketch with a guide. And actually we should have done that before we made the loft. So I will actually delete this loft here. So I push delete, secure that you have the loft selected, and then you push delete. And there is no risk to delete sketches here, it only deletes the feature. And now it's easy to see the sketches again. And we would like to work on a sketch that goes straight through here. So I just search for the correct plane here, and the right plane seems to be the right one. We go for sketch and look at the corner. We're inside a sketch, and I will go for this style spline again and just connect to that one. And I could make one point down there, and I can make another there, and then I choose escape. And then I could go back here and shape this. So I realized maybe we should have had more shaping possibilities here. So let's do that one more time. So I put one point there, and one there, and one there, and one over there. And I would like this to snap now. Okay, I didn't get that snapping, so I will just leave it in space, and then I will take that and shift click that one, and then I will say coincident, you guys should be together. So in perspective, it sometimes could be difficult to get them grabbing each other, but you could always force them as a second step. And now we have a possibility here. Oh, I didn't choose the style spline. Okay, so this is the other one. So now you can see how this one works. It's a little bit more like a Bezier curve here. Actually a little bit too much of flexibility here. But let's try this. Kind of a crazy shape there. Will it do it? Yeah, let's see. So again, we will go for a loft, but this time we have a guide curve that we will add on to this loft. So I choose that sketch, and then I click on guide curve and make this window blue. Look at that, that is crazy stuff. So now we have a possibility here to reshape this. Oh, it looks so funny. And we could go back here and do a little bit of redesigning of that curve. So sketch number 4, and I ask to edit that one. So I'll make this less crazy and see what happens. So if I accept that, much better. That looks nice. So what we could also do here is that we could add fillets, but wait with the fillets to a little bit later on. It's usually a good idea to take that as one of the last steps. What we could do though is that we could try to chop this off a little bit, and to do that I will just use a plane. So I would like to make a plane that is kind of leaning a little bit here. So if you look at the image here, it's leaning quite a lot. So let's see if we could do that. To make a plane, you go for feature, and then you search for reference geometry, and here you have plane. But before I do that, I prefer to make a little sketch that will govern this plane. So there is several ways of doing this. This is my approach. So I go for right plane, make a sketch. That the only purpose with this sketch here, let's go flat by the way, is to help me to do a plane. So I would like to have a plane that is quite flat here in this direction. And then I will make a curve that is perpendicular, 90 degrees to this angle. So I'll just make a line approximately from there to there. And that's it. Escape. And now I go out from the sketch, and we could, if we like, we could rename this. So let's call it help curve for plane. And now if I go for feature and reference geometry plane, it's super easy to make the plane exactly where I would like it to be. Click on the curve, and then you click on the end of the curve, and boom, exactly where I would like it to be. And now if I would like to adjust the plane, I could do that with the sketch. So just go back with the sketch and move the line a little bit, and then the plane will update. So I'm quite happy with that solution. So we have plane number 3, and we could call this cut plane. So it's super clear what it's all about. So let's cut with this one. And the other planes here is a little bit irritating. So I will actually right click and hide. I like to do that, so I hide that as well. And now we could use this plane here to cut. So I go for insert, cut. And it says surface here, but surface or infinitely big plane would be the same thing. So insert, cut with surface or plane. And it took that automatically because it was already active. So we could choose to flip the direction here, and I think that is a good idea because we would like to cut in that direction. We would like to laser beam off that, otherwise we lose the complete thing here. And I just realized that it might chop off the whole thing here. Okay, let's see what happens. Yep, that was kind of fun. So if this happens for you, there is several possibilities. One is, of course, to just change the direction of the plane here a little bit so it doesn't chop off everything. Another is to just have this as a separate body. So we just work with this body first, and then we glue these together. So at this point we could actually solve this in different ways. I think I will, in this case, take the opportunity to show how we could go back in time. So right now these are glued together, and the reason they are glued together is that the Loft command have merge welding turned on inside here. So we could just go back in time, and you could do that by moving a line here. So if I go up here with the line here, it's like this stuff have never happened. And if I go for the Loft command and edit the feature, you could see that there is a merge command somewhere, and there it is. So merge result. So if I take that off and accept, we should now have different bodies, separate bodies. And look at that. Suddenly we got a folder. Earlier there was no folder, but now there is a solid bodies folder with the original Tea Kettle, but also this piece here. And now if we go down, we also need to tell this surface cut to not chop off this, okay? I wonder if you should have hidden that part, or if we could edit here. Let's go in and see if we could edit this piece here. Yeah. So if we go in back here, we could select the bodies. So in this case, we could say, okay, that's the wrong one. That's not the one that you should work with. You delete, you should work with this piece. And now if I right click and accept this, it only affects this body here. Nice. And so if we now hide these things here and move on to the handle. So right click and hide. So let's work with the handle. So that was Loft with a guide curve. And right now these are different bodies here. So maybe before we do the handle, we should glue these together. So just to make this really obvious, we could see that if we hide one part here, we have actually two pieces there. So let's glue these together before we continue. And there is a feature for that. So if I go for feature, I could search for combine. So I would like to combine that one and add. So that's perfect. So now there is only one solid body here.